Hey babes! That was really aggressively loud. Thanks for Alright, we're gonna try that again. Hey babes! Thanks for tuning in to It's Only Embarrassing If You're Embarrassed podcast, a place where we normalize all things embarrassing, uncomfortable, and taboo in life. My name's Madison, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know if it's allergy season where y'all live, but I have had the worst, allergy, cold, something in my throat for a week. And so mine has been just my throat is very dry. I keep having water. I keep having a cough. It's so annoying. And it's so funny because there's so many people that they just don't suffer with allergies. And I'm like, what it must be like to not have a mini cold twice a year just because the pollen's coming out. What a life it must be. So on this episode today, I want to talk about something that I personally haven't heard a lot of people talk about, but I think is something that's super common and something we just need to normalize talking about. So everybody's talking about breakups and divorce. Nobody's talking about friendship breakups. And why the heck not? Because friendship breakups suck. So this episode, I want to talk about adult friendship and friendship breakups. Because one thing about me is I've had a lot of friends in my 20s. So I wrote down that I had a lot of friends at different ages and stages in my 20s. I had people that were blessings, people that allowed me to learn who my people are, people who showed me things that I don't want out of friendship, people who showed me how much fun friendship could be, and a little bit of everything in between. So I had a pretty big party stage of life. So I would say I had a kind of a party group of friends, kind of a regular group of friends. And over the past probably 2 years, I've kind of lost and weeded out a lot of the people who really weren't my people and who weren't people that were aligned with the version of myself that I am now, or who weren't aligned with the journey that I was going on at the time. So I went through a lot of friendship breakups over the past 2 years. So I had 2 long-term best friends that I parted ways with, and then I also got kicked out of 2 weddings. And so I don't know if you've ever been kicked out of a wedding. 0 out of 10 would recommend. So I have been through some definite ups and downs with friendship and really kind of navigating friendship loss, friendship gains, friendship challenges, and a little bit of everything in between. So I wanted to I have a couple Pinterest quotes for this episode, but the one that kind of resonates for where I'm at now and where I'm going in the future is, I've survived too many friendships with women who had secret animosity towards me when all I wanted was sisterhood. This season is a lesson in discernment. And so this Pinterest quote really resonated with me because I am an all-in kind of person. So one thing that's really been a struggle for me is every friend I've ever had, I assume you're gonna be my best friend and we're gonna be friends forever. And the concept of having friends for ages and stages of life or seasons of life never had occurred to me until the past 2 years. And then I started to have this really big transition of losing a lot of friends, keeping a few friends, and then making a lot of new friends that had very different interests than my old friends, which was super cool. And so along this journey, I've really been able to learn that not everybody who comes into your life is going to be there forever. Not everybody needs to be there forever. And some people come in to maybe support you in a small stage of life where you guys have something in common. Then, they're off to the next stage, you're off to the next stage. And sometimes you have friends that maybe things just don't end amicably with, and everything in between. And so what I've learned through all this is whenever I went through a period of losing a lot of friends, I'm not going to say gave up on friends, but I became less concerned with them. Like I was like, ooh, not as interested in like making new friends, not as interested in like extending olive branches to people, things like that. And then I very quickly realized like, why am I doing this? Like just go make some new friends, girlfriend. So I did. And so I just went back out, met friends with good intentions, met friends with um, people that I just had things in common with. And so I think that's really important is whenever you get older is not just to accept that like, oh, these people I hang out with every weekend, so I just always have to hang out with them and do whatever they do, even if it's not really aligned with me. Like you can make new friends, you can have a whole new life, you can do all sorts of new things based on your interests and what you really want to be doing and how you want to be spending your time. So I have a little tip, which is to go outside your comfort zone and ask the friend to coffee, brunch, whatever. And so I say this because most people, especially like in adulthood, like later adulthood, are looking for friends and like don't know where to start. So what I've literally done is I've DM'd so many people to get coffee, like real talk. In my like starting to make new friends journey, I would be like, there would be somebody that I like connected with on socials that we talked a lot or like whatever, and I would just be like, hey girl, let's grab coffee. There was somebody that I was friends with growing up that I just like connected back with, and I was like, hey girl, let's go grab coffee, and now we hang out quite a bit. And so for me, this was really about just kind of being selective and being like, who do I like to be around? And then also thinking about how I felt about those interactions. So I definitely used to have this sort of friends where you would wonder like, are you guys talking shit about me when I'm not around? And also if you have friends that you wonder that, they are. So and I definitely had a lot of those friends, and so now I don't, like now I don't hang out with anybody that I think, ooh, after I hung out with them they probably talk shit about me to somebody or like whatever. And I used to have a lot of those friends, unfortunately. And so I think that's something that's very interesting about your 20s is I think when I was in my 20s, I didn't realize I could accept and reject friendships. I just thought like if somebody wanted to be friends with me, we're friends now forever, you know? And I didn't realize I could say like, this friendship isn't aligned for me, or we don't really have anything in common anymore, or you just like to go out and get fucked up all the time and that's not my jam anymore, you know? There's so many reasons friendships just change and evolve over the years. So my tip is to literally just message somebody to hang out or ask somebody to grab coffee, because most of us in adulthood want to make friends and don't know how. And so we're all just like, how do I ask this person to hang out? Just freaking ask them, girl. So a lesson that I've learned is another Pinterest quote. Hope you guys like these, but another quote that I saw on Pinterest is you have 3 categories of friends. You have best friends, you have good friends, and you have acquaintances. Stop expecting your acquaintances to act like your best friends. So that means stop expecting people who you see like 3 times a year to show up for you in a way that is different than that, and accept that you can have different friends with different stages or relationships, and not everybody has to be your best friend. Not everybody has to be somebody that you hang out with all the time. You can have friends that maybe you see a couple times a year versus you can have somebody that you really connect with that you hang out with every single weekend, and both of those things are perfectly fine, but make sure you're aware of what that relationship is and then treat that person as such. So my biggest, I would say, takeaway is to find your people. So I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know if that looks like you love to play the clarinet and you need to go out and you need to find some friends that want to play the clarinet with you. I don't know if that looks like you want to start a blog and so you want to connect with other people who want to blog. But the internet is such a phenomenal place. So find the people that you're looking for and reach out to them, even if that's virtually. And my other biggest takeaway, I would say, is accepting that some friends come for reasons and seasons. That some friends come to teach you lessons, some friends come to help you out in a season, and then you guys are both off to new seasons of life, and a little bit of everything in between. And you don't have to be devastated if a friendship doesn't work out or if it doesn't last forever, because not everything is supposed to last forever. All right, I have 2 quotes that I'm going to close with. And so as I talk about really just kind of, friendships that I've parted with, I try to be very conscientious of not having any hate or anger or animosity towards anybody that I used to have anything with, any sort of relationship with. And so I think that's really important also as you evolve into this new stage, is to accept that not only can you have friends for ages and stages, but when those friendships end, you don't have to hate those people or wish them, evil things. You can just accept that they're on a different journey than you. So that's something that I've really been trying to embrace. And so sometimes I do have those thoughts that's like, oh my God, so-and-so is such a bitch. And then I try to do this thing in my mind where I immediately say, I hope something good happens to them today, to like realign my negative thinking, because having that much like negativity or animosity towards somebody is not a good thing. So, okay, back to the 2 quotes. I said I was going to close with those Pinterest quotes. So my first Pinterest quote kind of aligns with what I just talked about, and it says, I don't carry any hate in my heart. If I loved you before, I still got love for you. Stay away from me though. And so that one I so resonate with, because like I don't want to be in a stage where like I hate people that I used to be friends with, or whatever that is, but also like I don't want to reconnect, so I don't have any hate for you, but stay away from me. So I thought that one was a good one. All right, and so a similar one I think that goes along with that is, I want to see you eat, but not at my table. So you can also like part ways with people and still wish them well and still hope that they have a successful journey, a successful life, even if that's completely different than your journey. You can still want them to have that, but not have that in any way that pertains to you and your life, and that's perfectly fine. And so those were really just the 2 quotes that I think I wanted to close on, and I think are the things that like I'm aspiring to feel and mean 100%. So I want to see you eat, but not at my table, and I don't carry any hate in my heart. If I loved you before, I still got love for you. Stay away from me though. So those are somewhat humorous but mostly serious Pinterest quotes that really resonated with me for this new chapter of really being able to let go of some friendships that haven't worked out in the past, start some new ones. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I feel like navigating adult friendship is hard, navigating friendship breakups is hard, and nobody's talking about it. So I would love to use this podcast just to normalize all the weird things that nobody's talking about, share about them, and make you guys feel less alone if you're going through this. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of It's Only Embarrassing If You're Embarrassed podcast. I will be back later in the week with another episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, happy healing.